Today's soldier is, above all, a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the warrior ethos, grounded in Army values, and determined to destroy enemies of the United States of America and her allies. The United States Army Soldier Creed embodies this commitment. To the soldiers on the field, the uniform you wear at this moment is more than an outward display of your vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of a nation and an unspoken assurance to all who see you that you are willing and able protector of the freedoms fought so egregiously for by all who have gone before you and those who will bravely come after. You have become what you set out to be, a soldier in the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Specialist Jacob Williams presents a certificate of appreciation to retirees and leads the soldiers standing before you through reciting of the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed!
I'm an American soldier! I'm a warrior and member of the team! I will serve the people of the United States and live the Army values! I will always place the mission first! I will never accept defeat! I will never quit! I will never leave a fallen comrade! I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills! I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I'm a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I am an American soldier.
Please be seated.
Pass and review!
Count out, sir. Pass and review!
In consideration of those around you, we ask that you please remain seated and in the bleachers until all soldiers have passed the reviewing stand and the conclusion of the ceremony is announced. As you are approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it has passed to your right. Once the ceremony has concluded, family members of awardees may meet their soldier under the canopy located to the left of the bleachers. All the other family members and friends, please meet your soldier on the field once instructed by the narrator by respected companies. The 60th Infantry was organized in June 1917 at the outset of World War I from cadre furnished by the 7th U.S. Infantry. In November 1917, it was assigned to the 5th Infantry Division and underwent its baptism of fire on the Western Front. After the First World War, the 60th Infantry was inactivated in South Carolina in 1921. A generation later, in August 1940, war in Europe resulted in a rapid expansion of the U.S. Army. The 60th Infantry was reactivated and assigned to the 9th Infantry Division. In 1943, during the Battle of Sedan Valley along the Tunisian-Alger border, it was during the fanatical drive by the 60th Regiment that a captured German general's diary was to give the regiment its nickname. In the German general's account of American actions against the Germans, he wrote, "Look at those devils go," and thus the 60th Infantry Regiment became the Go Devils. On June 11, 1944, the 60th Regiment debarked at Utah Beach on the Cantine Peninsula, Normandy, France, on June 12, 1944, driving hard toward the St. Columbine in France. The 2nd Battalion, 60th Regiment, completely outpaced the rest of the 9th Division. For a time, the unit was even believed to be lost. But actually, the battalion had overrun the German defenses in the face of murderous fire and had cut the main highway to the northwest. Instead of withdrawing, the battalion set up a bridgehead on the Davao River and held the position for 7 hours until the rest of the division caught up to them, facilitating the cutting of the peninsula. Due to this demonstration of rapid penetration and maneuver, the Scouts Out motto originated for the battalion. Scouts Out is the official greeting of the battalion. After service as the 2nd Battle Group, 60th Infantry, from 1958 to 1962, 3 battalions, 260th, 360th, and 560th Mechanized, were activated at Fort Riley, Kansas, and assigned to the 9th Infantry Division for its deployment to the Republic of Vietnam. In December 1966, the division was the only major U.S. combat unit to conduct operations in the Mekong Delta. 9th Infantry Division was the first to be withdrawn from Vietnam and returned to Fort Lewis, Washington, in 1970, where its battalions were inactivated. Later, 2nd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment was reactivated on October 21st, 1972 at Fort Lewis, then inactivated at Fort Lewis, and relieved from assignment to the 9th Infantry Division in February 1991. The regiment was assigned to the Training and Doctrine Command on August 27, 1996, with the 2nd Battalion activated at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Passing the review stand is the commander of troops, Captain Drew Bishop, and the battalion staff.
Ready, push! Right flank,
The 282nd Army Band is commanded by Chief Warrant Officer 4, Jared Delaney. The drum major is Staff Sergeant Brooke Hendricks. Alpha Company is commanded by First Lieutenant Catherine Gaddy. First Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Rios. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Jerry. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Bradford. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Underwood. Bravo Company is commanded by First Lieutenant Xavier Vargas. First Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Williams and trained by Drill Sergeant Katakis. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Sam and trained by Drill Sergeant Velez. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Johnson and trained by Drill Sergeant Cunningham. 4th Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Luke and trained by Drill Sergeant Ellis. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Bali Masson. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it has passed to your right. Charlie Company is commanded by First Lieutenant Chelsea Persons. 1st Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Moore and trained by Drill Sergeant Babaram. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Winfield and trained by Drill Sergeant Romero. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Wursler and trained by Drill Sergeant Magana. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Acosta and trained by Drill Sergeant Taylor. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant James Jones. Delta Company is commanded by Captain Tristan Travinsky. 1st Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Pack and trained by Drill Sergeant Walter. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Garretts and trained by Drill Sergeant Donato. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Salas and trained by Drill Sergeant Vasquez. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant McHugh and trained by Drill Sergeant Lopez. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant William James Harder. Echo Company is commanded by Captain Robert Dietrich. 1st Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Arbolito and trained by Drill Sergeant Zuniga. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Colon and trained by Drill Sergeant Cabrera. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Nelson and trained by Drill Sergeant Perez. platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Andrade and trained by Drill Sergeant Petit. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Sean Robertson. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Army song and remain in the bleachers until the conclusion of the ceremony is announced.
Sir, this concludes today's ceremony.
Take charge of the battalion.
Comes out, sir.
Young others.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a safe journey home. Victory starts here.